Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I love that. It's after work and we're still getting that kind of energy. Thank you. For those of you who don't know, I'm Stephanie Renee, host of The Mojo, 10 a.m. weekdays. Hello. And glad to be here to be the official voice of the station that will be interacting with Chef Naimah Rutling as she gives us a healthy cooking demonstration today. I got to let you know that I'm already fully excited because she has brought decorations from my favorite holiday here today, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But she's going to be busy chopping and talking and working on the actual recipes for tonight. So I'm here to help kind of guide you through, to keep her interacting with me while she's cooking so that everybody's getting as much information as possible. And as you can see, we're videotaping everything so that for the benefit of those who aren't here, but also for those of you who want to look back over this and maybe see some of the chopping techniques and cooking techniques that she's going to be employing tonight, we'll have this video available on the WURD website and on our YouTube channel in the not too distant future, okay? Okay, so, you know, just like we say in church or in theater, this is interactive.
Yes.
So as people have questions, you know, I'll try to field them for you with Chef Nay, and we'll also, you know, try and incorporate some of that into maybe the comment section of the video so that you have as much as possible. Folks came prepared to take notes. I'm so impressed. But welcome. And so, you know, let's begin as you start to bring us into the wonderful world of food that you have assembled for us today.
Yes.
By giving people some background on how you got into catering.
Well, I started off as a housekeeper, believe it or not, and I just kept becoming employee of the month. And in my blood, I've always cooked. The men in my family cooked everything. I know it's usually like the women cook, the men in my family, my father, my uncles. So I was in the kitchen with them, age 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everybody's outside playing. I'm in the house cooking or learning how to cook. And I made my way around the city, around Philadelphia, around Philly a lot. And I was my first job as a cook, not a chef, a cook, was at Lowe's Hotel in 1999. And like I said, I started off housekeeping there, and they kept asking me, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to do? And I was like, hey, can you get me in the kitchen? And they was like, do you have a background? I was like, yeah, home. You know, so they got me in the kitchen. I had to do almost 2 years of baking and pastry, which I absolutely hate. I am a chef that don't like to bake as much, but I do bake if I need to bake. If a client asks me to bake, I will bake. But I got into baking, and then it's a industry that I embrace with pastries. So from there, I moved myself onto the line. And from then on, I was at this restaurant, that restaurant, just to name a few, Wolfgang Puck. I opened up Xfinity Live in South Philly. I became the head banquet chef there, and I was in charge of $1 million, $500,000 parties, events. I also pulled one restaurant that was almost failing up to a higher level, and it just took off from there. And for me, I kept asking myself, you know, with the things that you're doing for them, why can't you do it for yourself if you're making them $500,000 or $1 million? But I still was too scared, and I ventured on to Outback Steakhouse. I became a kitchen manager and learned to open and close the store, learned the whole business aspect, and that was what I was lacking when I was in restaurants. So when I started learning the business aspect, that's when I stepped away from Outback after a year and a half and decided to open up H.E.R Catering. So that's what got me here. Thank you. And we've been open for 2 years now. I can honestly say, thank God, that we've been doing really, really well. Each year I see the growth. My staff is 12 strong. And we've done a lot of stuff in the city, like the PABJ annual gala. We're doing it again. I'm happy. The pool parties for the PABJ, the National Black MBA. We've done things for the mayor. I do private parties if it's just you and your husband, or if it's just you and you want a chef present to cook for you. I'm here. Yes. Yes, I do. The only thing that I don't do is meal planning, and eventually I will. My PR is riding my back about everything. So, and I give all that with me using these different avenues to the LaRue Group. Mr. Kirk Wardy, he set a platform. I was one of the first chefs that was a part of the LaRue Group, and I'm a proud member of the LaRue Group. And I just branched off, and here I am today. So I'm happy, humble, and hopefully we just keep growing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we love stories like yours because it started from a natural love of food.
Absolutely.
And now you're able to pass that love on to your clientele.
Absolutely.
And you have put together beautiful, one of the things I love to see, I'm an autumn baby. My birthday's next week. And so the idea of the smells and the foods and the colors of the season, you have right here assembled on our counter. So what are we going to be delighted with this evening?
Well, because we are being health conscious, right? Yes. Right. So I am preparing a barley stir fry. Yes. And when we speak of health conscious, a lot of us think, let's go grab a salad. Let's put some steamed chicken on top and a little bit of vinaigrette, and this is it. No, we can have barley, we can have grains, we can have legumes, we can have lean meats, lean fish. So today I'm going to prepare a barley stir fry that's going to have beautiful organic and locally grown vegetables, fresh barley that I've prepared, and we're going to add some lean ground turkey to it, and we're going to have some of my famous Chef Na's Asian chicken sauce.
I was going to say, now I talked to Charles Ellison, who's on the air right now, before we got started, and he said that he understands this signature line of spices and sauces that you have prepared. I am not allowed to leave the building tonight without having information about that, as well as everybody in our audience, right? Because we want to support you and your growing enterprise.
Thank you.
So I'm here to help translate, and we definitely want to make sure that you don't forget to let everybody know how they can purchase that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so
let's get started.
Let's go.
Y'all ready? Ready. All right. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to finish chopping my vegetables. I already started chopping up a couple of things. So we have some fresh mushrooms here. We have some shredded carrot. I also have some shredded fresh ginger. I also have some ground, well, it's not ground yet, but this is garlic. And if anybody in the audience know why do you take a garlic clove and smash it? Do you know what do it do when you take it and you smash it? Yes.
It makes it easy to peel.
Well, that too, but the main reason. Yes, it brings the oils out. So then you just simply smell it. I'm gonna just bring it past you, and I don't even have to put it near your nose, and it brings out the oil.
I love it.
It opens up the aroma of the oil. So that's one of the things that I did. I smashed the garlic, but I didn't chop it yet. I also have some bell peppers here. I love colors. It is fall, and I love to cook colorful. And I have some red onions here. I have some chopped flowers, which is very delicious. And I also have some fresh kale. So I'm going to start chopping up the kale. I'm going to get this fire going, and we're going to start just interacting. We ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
And I'm going to do my best to stay out of your way, but we can still, chat as you're getting things done.
Absolutely.
Now, as you get ready to chop and prepare, I am one of those people who have never been to a formal class about knife work, and so proper knife work is something that I feel sort of ill-equipped to do, especially the grip with the knuckles.
Well, you know what? The main reason is when you purchase knives. I learned this as I grew in the industry. You have to have something that fits you, your hand. You got to feel comfortable with the knife. This is one of my big knives. This is actually one of my first knives that I've gotten when I started culinary school a while back. But you always purchase a knife that fits your hand, that you're comfortable with. And yes, there is a difference. It's the way that you grip the knife. So you're gripping the knife, and you're making sure that it's not just a lot of people hold a knife like this because they're scared. A lot of people pick up knives and they're scared to just, oh, I'm gonna cut myself, so you wind up cutting yourself. You have to just be confident with the knife. It's just like picking up your baby. Ladies, gents, you know, you're confident with the baby, and the baby just gradually is prone to you, right? So the same thing with a knife. I pick it up. It's the way that you grip it. Most chefs do have their hand on the end edge of the knife. I do. And this is not just one. So this is the difference with knives. I'm going to step behind you.
Okay.
This is a Japanese knife. This is very light in handling. So this is a knife that you can easily cut yourself with because it's so light that you think you can cut everything. This is a knife that you really have to be careful with. When I was younger, I said, I'm going to be a Japanese chef. And my dad was like, you're going to lose a finger. You don't know how to cut with a knife. I used to cut with a steak knife all the time, but it takes practice and it takes confidence and it takes just don't be scared. This one is more heavier, so this is called a chopping knife. This is a Japanese knife. This will give you thinner slices, thinner cuts. This one will give you more rugged cuts, more of a wider. I'm gonna go with like a wider dice or a small dice. If you want to go with a small, finer dice, I would pick up my Japanese knife.
Okay.
And if I want to go with a bigger dice, a large dice to a medium dice, then I would pick up my chopping knife. And a chopping knife, you chop a lot with the back. You rarely use the tip, but you use the tip for mushrooms. Like you could take a mushroom and you could just chop it with the tip of your knife. But you have to know the weight of your knife. You have to be comfortable with it. All right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna start off with some onions. I have my pan warming because I'm going to drop my ground turkey in it. So right now I am doing some julienne. This is a rough julienne, not really thin. I like for this dish for the vegetables to be kind of thick and rustic, and you know, it's not so uniformed. You don't have to be uniform when making this. This is very easy to do. It'll take you about 30 minutes, but we're going to drag this out because we're going to spend some time with each other today. All right, I'm not going to cook fast, but I'm going to cut and talk to you. But ask away if you have any questions.
Well, I was going to say one of the first things I wanted to ask too was about because you have such a colorful display, about eating the rainbow. I hear a lot of, particularly my friends that are going vegetarian and vegan,
Yes.
saying that that's kind of the enticement, right?
Yes.
That you know that you are on a healthier path
Yes.
when your plates don't look uniform.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And that's the truth. Because if you feel like you got to uniform your meal, then you get very boring. I go in the kitchen and I'm looking for colors. And I know the flavors. I'm looking for colors and textures. And the flavors are more like, it depends on the season. So I'm a seasonal chef. We're going into fall. So I will go for more of the fall colors and the fall flavors, which is the squashes, the sweet potatoes coming out. You have purple potatoes that's blooming beautiful right now, the red potatoes. So when you say eating the rainbow, it's delicious when you eat the rainbow. That's one. But it's basically just not being uniform. You just embrace it and have fun with cooking. You know, you don't have to be so uniform. A lot of people, they'll plate up a dish and it can be chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn. How about put the mashed potatoes in the center and put the corn on top and lay the chicken on top and ladle some gravy over it? It's all going down the same way, right? So if you start just taking and plating your dishes differently, then you feel differently about your food. Then you'll start expanding your education on, let me try something different. Because a lot of us, I know where I grew up at, we wasn't using chai flowers, you know, and we wasn't using colorful peppers. It was just green peppers, correct? And my dad, when he did greens, he boiled them to death. So, yeah, so, you know, and it had to be smoked meat, you know, so you got all that sodium and stuff. Now you can take kale and collard greens and you can make it healthy. You can saute it, you know, and it's not just the green pepper. I rarely use green peppers, but I like the colors. But I'm more so, it's different flavors here. This is more sweeter, the red bell pepper. The yellow pepper is a little more rustic, but it still has a good taste to it. It kind of takes you towards the green pepper, but the orange and the red pepper are more sweeter. And I find if you fire roast them, you're bringing out more flavor.
All right. Questions? Yes.
I see you using the red onion.
Yes.
Are you using that preferably over the white or the yellow or scallion?
Again, eating the rainbow. Because of the color, and it is a different flavor. So the regular yellow onion, it just tastes like the onions that we grew up on. But I like the red onion because it do have a sweeter taste to it. When you cook it, it takes you in the verge of a Vidalia onion. That's a Spanish onion. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Yeah, it's a little sweeter. So yes, the color from me and the flavor. So it is sweet.
Other early questions? Well, one of the other things that you mentioned that we're doing this stir fry with barley.
Yes.
Instead of a rice.
Yes.
Which is what we normally think of with stir fry. What qualities does the barley have that, add to this being a healthy meal?
Very, very high in fiber. So we have lots of fiber, and the one thing people of color lack of is fiber in our diet. So using barley, not just barley, quinoa, or couscous. They're coming out now with wheat pastas and whole grain pastas that's giving you more fiber. So I use barley because it has more fiber and is more filling. So you're going to eat less because barley tends to swell up in your belly. Whereas the rice, a white rice, you can keep eating it. Like I can eat a big plate of rice. But barley, you wouldn't eat that much. It's like eating oatmeal. The oatmeal looks, it has that little grain, but once it goes into liquid or something, it swells up. So the reason why, if I could step behind you, the reason why I kept one of the boxes of barley here so you can get a look of it, look at it. I don't know why I feel a little nervous in front of you guys. I speak in front of like 50 people every day.
Tell her she's among family.
So if you want to take that around, you can show them. Thank you.
I was like, I know you know what this looks like.
Now, would you cook that the same as rice?
Looks a lot like oatmeal.
Yes, it's 2 to 1. It's 2 to 1 for rice. So barley is 2 cups of water, 1 cup of barley. So it's just like cooking rice, 10 to 12 minutes, and then you let it sit for 5 minutes. You don't even drain it.
Looks
you don't
a lot
have to
like
put it in water to rinse it. You just cook it for 10 to 12 minutes, and then you let it sit for 5 minutes, and then finish cooking on its own. Yes. And a lot of people think barley as like, beef and barley soup and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm going to have barley and soup, but no, you can use barley for stir fries. You can do a lot with barley.
It looks like oatmeal.
I
so that's what it looks like
made a
before
barley
it
salad.
cooks up.
And you can put it with vinaigrettes, vegetables. So barley goes a long way. And it's $1.59 in the market. Cost efficient.
We all like that.
Yes. So I'm going to add some vegetable oil to my pan. I use olive oil, but the vegetable oil is just as good as olive oil. Yeah. They started that whole, I remember back in the day, where you couldn't eat vegetable oil, and it was supposed to just be olive oil. Vegetable oil and olive oil are working the same thing. It's just heart healthy also. Yeah. But now you can get olive oil less expensive too if you shop at Aldi. I'm gonna give you some pointers too. I'm a bargain chef. Yes.
And and I'm glad that you mentioned that because they're, and this is for the foodie and non-foodies among us, that different oils have different price points, of course, but they also have different smoke points.
Yes.
And so depending on what you're cooking, you might want to think about different kinds of oils to use.
Absolutely. So olive oil, you can use that a lot with sauteing, but the extra virgin olive oil is used mostly for solids and dressing up pastas, or if you just want to drizzle it over your food. Regular olive oil is thicker. The extra virgin olive oil is the first press. So that's the first oil that comes out of the olive. And then the regular oil is thicker. So you can use that for stuff like this, like if you're sauteing or searing off a steak or vegetables or seafood. But when you have extra virgin olive oil, that's mainly for salad dressings. It's a more lighter oil. So salad dressings, you can dress up your pastas, and you can add some seasonings, some herbs, and you can just eat it like that.
And so you've chosen to use ground turkey
Yes.
For tonight's stir fry. And for people, I every now and again, my body will call for a hamburger.
Beef?
Like a good hamburger.
Real beef?
But for the most part, I don't eat, I definitely don't eat pork, and I don't
Okay.
eat other red meat.
Okay.
And so for people in the audience who might be considering making a shift to, getting into the lighter piece, yeah,
Okay.
sure. What would you say about ground turkey, thinking about that as a substitute if people are trying to sort of minimize their intake of red meat?
Okay. Go for it. A lot of people get scared of ground turkey because they say, oh, it's nasty. It is if you're not flavoring it right. So if you're making a burger, real quick, you got your pens and paper out? So if you're making a burger, a teaspoon of mayo that adds the fat to the ground turkey. This is if you want a beef burger. So we want to cut the beef out. We want to go with ground turkey. A teaspoon of mayo and 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Any seasoning that you might use on your beef, you can use in your turkey. Me, I like to put a tablespoon of ketchup with my mayo and my Worcestershire, and then I use a tablespoon of barbecue sauce. 1 egg makes it juicy along with the mayo. And you mix that and make your burger. I guarantee you will not think about a beef burger. My daughter can testify for that. I changed her life. And I'm taking my peppers, and I'm also roughly julienne, and I'm also. And I also use ground chicken a lot. So you can do the same thing that you're doing with ground turkey, you could do it with ground chicken. Same thing you would do with ground beef, you could do with ground chicken and ground turkey. Yes?
Question, how about for the vegans that just want to do something like tofu? Can you address that?
Say that again?
She said for vegans that don't eat any meat at all, can you do something like this with ground tofu or with tofu, for instance?
Yes, marinate it. You can marinate it with Worcestershire sauce, some seasonings. I would go with herbs. I would try to stay away from a lot of the dry rubs. I love them, but they tend to have a lot of sodium. So if you're going heart healthy and you're going healthy eating, you got to watch your sodium intake also, especially if you're vegan. So you can go fresh herbs. You can marinate anything, olive oil, fresh herb, a little bit of coarse salt and pepper, and marinate it just like you would do a piece of meat. You could treat tofu the same way, but make sure it's extra firm if you're making a burger. Yeah. Yes.
Referring to salt, I make like you like it, I know I definitely like it. So what, you need a little salt in something, so what do you prefer, the type of salt you use?
Kosher salt or sea salt. I have kosher salt with me today. I won't use a lot of that because I also have a seasoning with me today that I'm going to season my ground turkey with. I left this out so you guys can look at this.
Yeah.
I can take it around?
Yes, she can take it around. And it's a seasoning that I use for my meats, especially when I'm doing stir fries. So it eliminates me from using a lot of salt. That has enough salt in it and it has enough sodium in it. So make sure you're comparing how much meat to how much of the seasoning, the liquid seasoning that you would use. And I get that from the Asian markets. I don't know if you're familiar with going in the Asian markets, but I go in there a lot in fruits, vegetables. I'm a local person, so I'm either at the Italian markets, I'm in the Asian markets, and I like Aldi's. I love Aldi's.
Yep. It's basically soy, water, sugar, and salt.
And the reason why I use that, because when people make stir fries, the first thing they do is drown the stir fry with soy sauce. Just a lot of soy sauce, and you just have a salty dish, a really salty dish. That right there is going to season my meat. It do have salt in it, but it's going to season my ground turkey. So you wouldn't even think that you're eating ground turkey. Yes, that's it. Any other questions? Yes, I do. Yes, I use that when I'm cooking red meats. because it tends to sink in the tendons and break the tendons down so that I can get a juicy steak. I love Himalayan salts.
I was gonna say, so is there maybe a top 5 seasonings that you feel every pantry or every home should have in the kitchen? Yes.
Yes. For me, cafe ground pepper, kosher salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. That is it for me.
That's top 5.
Cafe ground pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika. What else did I say?
Kosher salt.
Kosher salt. Thank you.
So you said the cafe ground?
Cafe ground, yeah, it's real thin. No, you can buy it in a container. It say cafe ground. It do say cafe ground. Then you have coarse ground, but I keep peppers, you know. But cafe ground is my number one.
And you said because the cafe ground is the finer
It's
ground.
finer, yes. You don't have to use as much. And as a chef, for us, we don't want to see specks. You know, people are like, what's that in my food? You know, yeah. So the cafe ground blends in with everything. So I've learned that the hard way. Trust me, back when I started in 1999, I did coarse pepper in my mashed potatoes, and my chef just blew me up. What is this? Somebody might think this is a, you know, a bug. So you don't ever want to be told off on the line by a chef, do you?
I was gonna say we get plenty of that on the reality shows, right?
Yeah, I do it a lot with my staff too sometimes. They catch on though.
So you say cafe ground, you mean cafe ground black pepper?
Yes.
Okay, how about white pepper? You try?
Well, yeah, I use white pepper, but not as much. It depends on, like, if I'm making seafood chowder, anything with white sauces, so you don't see any type of specks. But for mashed potatoes and stuff, cafe ground pepper. White pepper gives off a different flavor. It's way more potent than black pepper, period. Potent, yes. So the same amount of black pepper and the same amount of white pepper, you're going to taste the white pepper before you taste the black pepper. Yes, so I would do half, like if you have a teaspoon of black pepper, I would go half of that with the white pepper. Yes, it's way more potent, and it's nasty if you use a lot of white pepper. I'm gonna tell you that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
What flavor does saffron bring to your stir fry?
The flavor of
Saffron, yes. Saffron is a Spanish herb, and it brings is up there with smoked paprika, but not as potent. And saffron kind of is used more so for the color. So when you add saffron, it's really for the color, and it depends on how much you, and it's expensive.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So, smoked paprika. Smoked paprika all day with me. I make smoked carrots. I make smoked kale, smoked peppers. I'll do these peppers and rub them down with smoked paprika. Yes.
Yeah, how do you smoke paprika? Because I'm kind of getting more into cooking these days. I bake, but I'm trying to get more into cooking because I have, like I was telling you yesterday, my brother has health problems.
Okay.
And we're about to go vegan. He's about to go vegan.
Right.
And I want to learn how to smoke stuff like my own. Is there like a special apparatus you would need, or?
Well, I buy it. So I don't smoke paprika myself. I buy the smoked paprika. I buy it in the packages. You could buy it in the jars, but they have packages that's made by the Goya, you know, the people that make the Sazon. Yeah, their smoked paprika is a little more potent to me. It has more of a smoky flavor. So it'll take you more of the southwestern flavor profile. But I don't smoke paprika. I buy it. I need to learn that. Yes.
What do you think is the best time to use, like Jamaican curry? Or
asking about some of the more savory spices.
Yes, that is a savory. Curry you can use at any time. But for fall, this would be a great time for you to curry a lot of things because you're in that flavor profile now. We're in fall. Curry cauliflower, that's one of my specialties. I make with a cider braised turkey thigh and curry cauliflower. So I love that. You can use curries whenever you want, red curries, Jamaican curries. Then you have Madagascar curry, which is is an Asian curry. You can get that out of there. At the Asian store, yeah. It says Madagascar curry, and it's spicy. It's very colorful. It's more colorful than a regular curry. But when you use curry, I was taught to burn it. So when you burn it, just when I say burn it, you put oil in the pan and you let that oil get really hot, and you put the curry in it, and it's called blooming, but that's the school term. But this Caribbean woman that I knew for a while, she was like, you got to burn the curry. And because I kept saying, I'm a chef, but I cannot pinpoint getting that flavor, that curry chicken. It's a different flavor when you burn it. So bloom it or burn it. When you burn it, when you bloom it, you just let it turn to like the color of my skin. It goes from yellow to like a darker color. You take it from off of the fire, and you take that curry and the oil and you massage it in the meat. So it can be beef, shrimp, chicken, whatever it is that you want to curry, the vegetables, whatever. You massage it in. Yes, you take all that oil, let it cool down. Don't burn your hand. I don't want y'all contacting WURD like Chef Na said, get the hot curry. We don't want to do that.
So you do that and then cook it again? I'm gonna finish cooking it?
You take it and you massage the raw meat.
Okay.
Yes, the raw meat. And excuse me, let me turn this other. You massage the raw meat. I'm sorry, I'm still learning the stove. Here we go. You massage the raw meat and you still season it with your own seasonings. When making Jamaican food, I normally get the Caribbean season. They have an all-purpose Caribbean season made by Grace. And yes, they're all-purpose Caribbean season I like, but I don't like Grace's curry. I'm a Madagascar person. Chef, I love that Madagascar curry. And if you're like an African descendant, like if you have an African background, like Liberian, I have a friend that's Liberian, they don't burn the curry, but they take the curry and peppers and hot peppers, scotch bonnet peppers, jalapeno, I just had some last night, jalapenos, and they make a paste. They put it in the blender and they make a paste, and they rub that on their chicken. So I really like that, and that's really spicy. And so it's different ways of doing it.
I was going to say, and for those of you who are prone to cry if you chop onions, let me just say that when you make a paste, like Chef Na just described, also do not immediately put your face over the blender, because you'll feel it. Those oils are being released from the capsicum and the peppers, and if you're not used to it, it'll, absolutely.
So I'm going to add some of my liquid seasoning. This is actually a 1/4 cup to 4 pounds of ground turkey. So that's 4 pounds of ground turkey, and I use a 1/4 cup of that liquid seasoning. That's more than enough for me. And I wouldn't add any more. And I'm gonna just this one here that she brought around.
How much did you put in?
A 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup to 4 pounds of ground turkey.
Okay. Beautiful fall flowers were blocking some people's view, so we're clearing up. But while we're doing that, and while you're continuing to chop, Chef Na, we talked about these wonderful decorations that you have for Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. And so for those of you who aren't familiar, I can at least give you a little bit of background about that. We know a lot about Halloween here in the States, right? And Dia de los Muertos is 3 days. And practicing Catholics already know some of this, because it begins with Day of the Dead. It begins with Halloween as this idea of the unrested spirits, or spirits transitioning from living to dead. November 1st is the day when you pay honor to those who have passed on in your immediate family. And so there is a celebration for children and a celebration for the elders that have passed on. And then All Souls Day, that's why I'm saying All Saints Day, All Souls Day, are part of the 3-day celebration that Catholics probably know something about. And you said some of these are authentic decorations that Chef Na has brought tonight. I'm in love with the purple one. If she is missing that when we wrap up tonight, she knows where it went.
That just actually got back from Cozumel almost a month ago. My best friend brought that back to me. I have a collection of skulls, and they know that I absolutely love skulls. And it's not even about the day-to-day with me. When I look at them, I see mystery. That's all I see. And the connection with me and my skulls that's me. I'm mysterious when it comes to cooking. I like to infuse a lot of different flavors, a lot of different backgrounds. I'll take Asian and Italian and make it like none of your own. So that's what that connection is with my skulls. Yeah, I do have my king, and I have my guy with his hat. Yeah. But I have quite a few of them as a collection. But that's what they mean to me. And I travel with certain ones for a certain day. So okay. These are here for a purpose, and this is a mysterious and yet a colorful day. Right. This is what we're doing.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, and so it's not satanic. For those people who are concerned, about what the skulls represent and everything else, it really
no
is
religious reason for me.
Right? Yeah, but just even in terms of the natural celebration,
right? It's absolutely
about acknowledging that life transitions.
Yes,
that's really all it's about. Halloween has blown up into a whole other thing, but yeah, these are just representing that.
Favorite things I like to do, but try not to eat so much carb with the pasta. What's a good pasta dish?
But she said she was asking about pasta dishes, knowing that that with the carbohydrates for people that are trying to restrict that, but still, if Chef Naimah had recommendations for good pasta.
Yes. Are you a red sauce, a scampi, clear sauce, or white sauce lover?
More red in between. I don't do a lot of white sauce. I like white sauce, but I don't do as much.
Okay.
I like a light white sauce. But normally I do like a light red sauce.
Okay.
My husband doesn't like red sauce as much, so I do it very lightly because
okay.
I just like to play with it, but I like Italian and I like pasta. But I'm just trying to find a balance where I'm not eating a lot of pasta.
Can I ask you, do you make your sauce or do you buy it?
Oh no, I ain't making nothing.
But
buying the sauce on sale.
I understand that. But
like an olive oil, like sometimes make like a little base, like something that sort of as to actually create a red sauce.
Okay. You can create your own red sauce in about 5 minutes. You can take Roma tomatoes and just rough chop them. Get that pan nice and hot. A little bit of olive oil, not the extra virgin, and you can throw those tomatoes in there with onions, with garlic, and just let it go until it just turn into liquid. Yes. So you can take like 6 tomatoes. That'll make a serving for 3. 6 tomatoes, 1 onion, and about 4 cloves of garlic, and you can just let that go, and it'll turn into a marinara sauce. And there you go with the fresh marinara sauce. You can take some fresh basil, add that at the end. Every time you use fresh herbs, you always add that at the end, because if you add them in the beginning and let them cook away, then you're not going to taste the freshness of the herb. It is good, yes, but you want to taste that herb. If you're putting basil in, you want to taste the basil. If you're putting parsley in, you want to taste it. Cilantro, you want to taste it. Tarragon, you want to taste it. Thyme and rosemary is one of those herbs you can let go with the meat. You can braise with it. You can bake with it. So just a few pointers. You can make your own sauce. Or you can go to Aldi's.
That's what she said, bargain chef.
If that makes sense.
Well, I'm going to do lasagna this weekend, so that's the thing that I make maybe once a year. So. But I like to, it does come out good. I use the ground turkey. Yeah. And I like that. But to me, it's a process. It's taking, like she's doing it so nice and fluidly. And me, it's like I'm sweating. I got to go something.
Well, I was gonna say, well, the cooking at home can be involved, but
yes.
Chef Naimah is trying to get us all tonight to sort of commit to using the fresher ingredients so that we can control how healthy it is, how much sodium is in it,
yes,
and some of the other things.
Yes. So right now I'm adding some of my veggies. You can just mix them all up, and I'm gonna let them not cook all the way. I'm gonna saute them just until I smell the aroma, and then I'm gonna remove them from the heat. So I have carrot here, I have mushrooms, I have our peppers, and I'll have our red onions, and I'm gonna add some garlic to it, but not just yet. Yes, I put my hand in the pan. I do cook with utensils, but because I'm so used to the heat, I don't think I have any feeling in my hand. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
So you have chef
I gotta
hands.
remember, I'm telling you, don't do it. Yes, I have chef hands. That's what they call it. So I'm gonna let those cook down some, and then I'm gonna put my other pan back on because I wanna cook my garlic. What am I doing? Okay. Oh, there we go. I was over here studying this whole thing. I was like, this go with that, this go with that. My daughter's like looking at me. I was like, just. Yes.
What would you do with kohlrabi?
Say that again.
Kohlrabi.
What would I do with it?
Take it back to the store.
Probably so.
Not a
don't-
favorite ingredient.
Yeah, I don't work with it as much. I probably once or twice in my life, and it was in cooking school. So my chef probably looking at me like, really, Naimah? You know, so, yeah.
You know, like when you buy your little vegetable trays, someone told me about a kohlrabi. They got so big. I kind of, they taste like a turnip, but it's sweeter.
Yeah.
And I gave some to my neighbor from Bangladesh, and she steamed it. You know, there's really not much you can have.
It's not.
It's
It's
very good. It tastes like a turnip.
So
But you can-
kohlrabi is like a
yeah.
sweet turnip.
right.
Okay.
You can puree it. You can puree it, and then I would use it. Me myself, I would use it on one of my hors d'oeuvres. It would be like just a little splack of it, but it's not something that I put on my plate. I think because I personally don't like it. I like turnips almost. It depends on what I'm pairing it with. Almost, yes. And some things that just growing up, I never eaten pork, and turnips and stuff. My grandma used to I started thinking about her cooking that stuff to death. And it's like, all right, I have to go back and reinvent that, But I have made purees with turnips, and I paired it up with codfish, and it was delicious. But the kohlrabi is just, it's like one of those things that I rarely use.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about your pans. I noticed you're using
The wok, yes.
pan for your sauteing.
You can also use a saute pan.
As part of, we talked about the herbs, the different herbs you
Right.
can. What about tools as far as your pots?
Yes.
Essential cookware.
That's a great great question, because some people don't know the difference with pans.
Right.
This is a saute pan, and the reason why this is called a saute pan, their edges don't come up all the way. And a saute pan, saute means jump, quick, fast, hot. Then we have a pan that's similar like the wok, and it comes up a little more. You ever see those pans and it look like a frying pan? Our parents used them as frying pans and stuff. That's called a sauteuse. And a sauteuse holds liquid. So if you're trying to saute in a sauteuse and you just wanted to make a quick stir fry and you wanted it kind of dry, don't use a sauteuse, because then you're going to get nothing but liquid. It's going to draw all the liquid out of your vegetables, all of it. So whereas though a saute would keep it hot and keep, you can get that brown on it, but a sauteuse will draw a lot of liquid. So that's the difference. With stock pots, most stock pots are the same. Using a stock pot for either making something like this, or making stocks, or making gravies and all. But yeah, the difference between the pans is what people need to learn. Saute is a pan that has the slight edges. It doesn't go all the way up. The sauteuse come all the way up, whereas though it has a bigger lip going around it. And this is a wok. On a wok, they use those in Asian spots, so you can do a lot with the wok. I'm still getting that brown, and they're still getting it. They're almost ready the way I want them. But I'm also going to do the same thing in the saute pan, so you can see the difference.
I feel like Guy Fieri now. If you ever watch his shows on the Food Network, he lets you know that when people that are doing all of that, you step back so that you don't get splashed. I'm in the splash-free zone right now.
Yeah, you don't never want to mess up your clothes. I messed up a lot of clothes cooking without an apron. So right now we're getting our stir fry together. The first thing you do is cook your vegetables off. These are pretty much ready. I still want them to be al dente, so they're still a little crispy. And I'm going to remove them.
Do you ever cook with cast iron?
Yes. One of my favorites.
I was going to say,
Yes.
cooking with cast iron got an enthusiastic response.
Me too.
Cast iron?
Yes.
What's the best thing to cook, you feel, cook with cast iron?
Frying
Yeah.
or bacon. I still bake my cornbread in the, absolutely, in the cast iron. I do make cornbread from scratch. Yeah, my grandma would kill me. That's not even like my dad thing right there. That's my grandma. Like every week, cornbread, baked chicken. I think I mastered baked chicken.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that too, the recipes that get handed down generation to generation, because you said you don't cook with pork. And
No.
one of the things I find people that have gone to culinary school seem to be fascinated with the pig.
Oh my goodness, yes. When I was in
especially
school.
bacon, but just fascinated with the pig.
Yes.
So how have you found in developing your own catering business and what have you, that you get around finding ways to sneak pig into everything?
Well, if they ask for it, I have to cook it. I do know how to cook it. When I was in culinary school, and we had to make soups. And we dug our hand in a bag, and of course I came out with like a pork shake. And I was like, oh my goodness. I stared at it for a while, and I talked to it like, you're going to do something with me. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, it's just, but my chef told me I had a gift. Most chefs, probably a lot of them can relate to when I say you taste your dish in the back of your throat before you make it. I know what all of this is going to taste like before it comes together. When I made this before, I knew what it was going to taste like before it came together, because I knew what I was working with the pork. And I was making that stock, and I took and I sauteed vegetables. I knew that I can start off a stock, which is sauteing vegetables and getting the aroma out of vegetables and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, then I'm gonna add this pork, and pork is similar to poultry, you know, because it's like a white meat, you know. So I put the pork in, and I started sauteing that around. You know, they say pork, the other white meat, that commercial. Yeah, so I put the pork in, and I sauteed that around, and then I just started adding stock, and I just let it go, and I just kept going like this. And I was like, okay, I taste the stock. So, and then it was like the musky, like the meat, the musk, and I was like, this smells good, so I just kept adding stuff, and I got an A. So I didn't taste it, you know, but I do cook bacon when they ask for it.
Yeah.
I just haven't had anybody ask me for a pork shank or a pork roast or anything like that, but if you want it, H.E.R will make it. Yes.
Yes.
So I had to work my way around it, and I felt alienated at one point, because my chef would be like, oh, we got bacon, and everybody would get so excited, and I'm like, okay. Like, I want some turkey bacon, you know.
Right.
So, and then I got teased at one point. My mentor, he used to tease me. He was like, turkey bacon is not real bacon. And I said, yes, it is. It's turkey thighs, and it's smoked. Yeah, so I got around it, but I still feel alienated sometimes, because I think, like, when I go to the food festivals tomorrow, they're going to be in there with bacon wrap this or chocolate bacon and all types of stuff. And it's like, all right, I'm over here with my turkey bacon. I make my bacon taste just as good as their bacon. So,
Yeah. But one of the things you mentioned in that I think is really important is that you said you taste with smell.
yes.
And, you know, I think all of us need to sort of develop that skill, that as we're trying out new herbs, we're trying out
Yes.
vegetables,
And that's
these
where that comes
suggestions.
from.
Yeah, we learn what they
trying.
smell
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
and that factors into how we know things are ready, or that there's going to be something that we'll enjoy.
Absolutely. So right now I'm just chopping up some of the kale, and I'm going to add this to my dish. And as you've seen, that I'm doing the kale last because I want it to be crispy, and the kale wilts really quickly. And I'm putting my kale with onion because I want that flavor. Is the reason why I'm doing that. I want like a toasted onion flavored kale. And then we're going to put this dish together. I'm about to add one. I'm about to put one together for you right now.
Excellent. Well, as that's coming together.
Yeah, I did. I put some of the vegetable oil in there, yes. And I added the onion. Yep, absolutely.
One of the things that, you know, people have been joking about is that kale is like the new everything green, right? And a lot of people didn't
Right.
grow up eating kale. What properties about kale do you enjoy as you're preparing dishes?
One, like everybody said, it was the new it thing. It's very healthy. Me, I like raw kale more. I use kale in my salads. I make a kale Caesar salad. I make all types of things with kale.
Did you just say
my
kale Caesar salad?
Yes. If you were at the Philadelphia, the PABJ, not last year, the year before last, I introduced the kale Caesar to them.
And your daughter is saying that's her favorite thing.
It is, because she loves my Caesar dressing. So what I'm about to do now is add some barley to this pan. Yes, I still have like some carrot and residue in there. When I'm cooking with, let me turn this off. I hope I'm doing the right one. Did I? No. Okay. All right, here we go. As I'm cooking, and I have all the same ingredients, not all the same ingredients, but the ingredients that's for that dish, I like using like the bits. Like if I seared chicken and it still had like a little bit of the garlic and stuff like that, I love the bits because that's where the flavor is. Yes. I'm gonna add some of this barley. Again, you know, I'm a hands-on person. You see me digging in here. This is cool. Yes, I cooked this. This is 2-to-1, just like you would cook rice. The barley, 2 cups of water, 1 cup of barley. Cook it for 10 minutes. And then let it sit for 5 minutes.
And it's also for everyone that saw when I walked around with the box how flat it is when you first cook it. And look, look at you
you're
making
fine.
a mess.
You okay?
That how much it swells up when it's cooked. So that's what she was saying about how it'll make you full.
Full, yes, it's very filling. So here it is. I add the barley. I added my fresh garlic. And I'm constantly going around my pan because, again, this is a grain and it's a little different from rice. So this grain can get sticky. And if it began to get sticky, you could just take some of your oil and simply put it, just pour some right in the pan and just let it work its way. It's like it's lubricating the pan for you and lubricating the barley so it don't get so sticky. Because if you let it get sticky, then it'll clump up on you. And you can overcook barley and it can become very gummy.
And I see that you're using a squeeze bottle.
Yes.
Do you recommend, you know, people can buy the oil in the bottles that it comes in the
Yes.
store, but do you recommend transferring it to a squeeze bottle for when you're cooking?
Yes, I do, because it allows you to use a little, a little bit as you go. If you're just pouring it in, then you probably have a lot of oil in there, your vegetables come out oily. You just need to coat your pan. That's all you need to do is coat your pan. This a little bit goes a long way, especially if you're sauteing. So yes, I do recommend that I have squeeze bottles all around my house. My kids are accustomed to using the squeeze bottle. I do roasted garlic, and then I take the oil and I have roasted garlic oil. I have different oils, basil oil, stuff like that. So they've gotten accustomed. No, they're not chefs, but they'll use my stuff. They'll be in there like they are, you know, just chefing it up. That's what they call it. When I look at their Instagrams and stuff, I'm chefing it up with my mom's stuff. So I'm adding my vegetables back in. It's very colorful.
Yes,
We're about
it's
to taste the
beautiful.
rainbow.
Yes.
You ready?
And you see how colorful it is before any sauce, anything else has been added. These are all just the raw ingredients that she's been preparing for us. It's beautiful.
The sauce is actually a bonus because you can have this just like this. You can take, and that was the reason why I put my seasonings out. You can take a little pinch of the kosher salt. This is the ground onion and ground garlic mix. I like to mix my seasonings already, so I keep a lot of pre-mixed seasonings around the house. if I'm leaving for a weekend or something and I have to travel and work, I'll leave stuff out for the kids and I'll say, use this seasoning for your steak and use this seasoning for your chicken, use this seasoning for your fish. And they just, okay, Mom. You know, so I do that a lot. I make a lot of pre-dry rubs and I just have it sitting around and I can go to it. I make my kitchen convenient for me. So that's another thing that you can do. You make it convenient, you setting yourself up for success, especially if you're going healthy.
Yeah, I was gonna say the murmur in the room for those of you who are going to be watching on video is how pretty it looks in the pan. So it automatically also, you know, it gets you geared up to eat.
Eat with your eyes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eat with your eyes.
And they do. So what I'm gonna do to this is add some of my famous Asian chicken lollipop sauce. If I told you what was in here, I would have to kill you.
Yes. Super secret, but great nonetheless. Now, is this one of the sauces that you actually market yourself?
Yes. Yes.
So we can buy it.
Not
pre-mixed.
yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
It's coming.
Not yet. It's coming. Yes.
Okay.
It's my PR is working on getting this on the internet. We're going to be selling it through the internet, but not yet.
Okay. So it's coming.
I got people
coming
waiting.
soon. We'll keep you posted.
Sauce, yes.
You hear that? It says standing in line like the iPhone.
I like that. I'm honored that you would. I'm gonna turn my heat off. Off. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're all ready.
That looks beautiful.
Thank you. What I like
Beautiful
to do.
and filling.
Yes, it is. Very filling. What I like to do, because I am a mother of 5. I am. I'm always family styling everything. Like, you know, we don't do individual plates. I'm a big BJ mom, that's what you want to call it. I always have extra. Even though I have 5, you could bring your 5 too.
You see all that steam coming off of that? That smells amazing.
Are you gonna use taste testers?
Oh, this is all for you guys. My handy assistant is about to put gloves on and she's going to start bringing some around to you guys.
Is the ground turkey in there?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
Yep. You missed me. Because we were talking and I was moving.
See? So that's why you got the video. You can look back at the video and see how it all
I seen her
comes
add
together.
the ground turkey. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make another batch of this.
Okay.
She's going to come around so you guys can taste it, and I would love the feedback. Now that the nervousness is going away, we're starting to talk regular. Here we go. That's what we top it off with. Yep, here we go. Right here, I got you. Thank you. Thank you. She's attentive too.
Yeah. And so talk to us about chive blossoms, because if you're like me, chive is a word that I used to always hear
Please
with
give
my
them
family.
one. Take a bite of it. This is how I started using things. Chive flower.
Yeah.
Chive flowers, chive blossoms. Yes, it's just like the regular chive. Have a nice oniony, toasted onion flavor. It reminds you of green onions. Yeah, just like a green onion, the top part of the green onion.
Sorry. Here you go.
So a mixture between a regular chive and a green onion to me. Yeah, so I
There
keep
you
telling
go.
my
Would you like
kids that they're crossbreeding everything.
You want one?
Yeah, believe me when I tell you.
Where do you get it from?
The Asian market, any Asian market. No, they have the regular chives and then they have the chive flower. You might see it as chive blossom, but a lot of the Asian markets it says chive flower.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm chopping some of it up right now and it's going right on top of your dish. And I use this as my garnish. So I usually put the chive flowers on there. Also, I have
I just want to make
fried
sure she has
garlic
what she needs to
as
cook
a crunch
before I
factor.
bring some more around.
And the fried garlic you can get from the Asian market. And this is just a little crunchy factor, a crunch factor for you, and it still have a lot of flavor in it.
Do you think it would be good with sesame seeds?
Yes, you can use sesame seeds, but that's just my version of with chopped flowers and toasted garlic.
Can I
But
take
you
a few
can-
more?
Yes,
Okay.
please. I have plenty.
Okay.
I'm gonna clean up some of my mess.
Okay. Would you like one? No? Okay. Anybody? Okay.
Garlic? Garlic? Okay. Yeah, it do. Garlic. How about green onion? You don't taste that in there? No?
And chive is from the onion family?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I was gonna say, and there was one more ingredient that's over here in a little bowl.
This was the fried garlic.
Oh, that's
yeah,
the
I
fried
just
garlic.
added it on
Okay.
top as a garnish.
Gotcha.
And you can also purchase this in the Asian markets. Fried garlic. They have fried garlic. They have fried red onions.
And did
I
everybody
usually
see
use
it?
them a lot.
The
You can
fried
take it
garlic?
around.
Okay.
Thank you.
The only problem with this.
So this is the fried garlic.
We ain't got that special sauce. So we're gonna be
You see?
going home making
This is the fried garlic.
What the closest thing to that sauce you can take?
Yes, she said you can get it from an Asian
teriyaki
market just like this.
And sweet soy
Okay.
and the sweet chili sauce. Mix that together.
This is the fried
That's
garlic.
the closest thing to that sauce that
And she said you
would
can get it from the Asian markets
closest-
also.
I just can't tell you what's in there right now. Sauce, yes.
Fried garlic.
It's sweet, spicy.
Come
You can taste the, yeah. So it's like sweet and spicy, but it's a perfect balance. And so you can add spice
okay.
to it. Me, when I do the Asian chicken lollipop, the Asian chicken
It's the fried garlic.
is ground chicken, and I form it into a meatball, and then I toss it in my sauce, and I put it on a pick, not just a regular toothpick, but you can get like a decorative pick, and then I top it with wasabi cream. And then I put the fried garlic on it, and then I
You
usually
are
serve it. Or
speaking my
sometimes-
language now, sister.
Yes, or
Wasabi
sometimes
cream.
I
I was
top
gonna
it
help you
with
take some around.
pickled ginger and carrot, pickled ginger carrot puree. So it'll balance off.
There you go.
I never heard of wasabi cream.
Yes.
Did you use any meat product to season the barley? Like
Um.
bouillon or anything? Or what did you use as a base for the barley?
Just water.
Just
Water, and I put a pinch of salt in there, and it's optional if you want to put a pinch of salt in there.
gotcha.
But just water. You can flavor it with a broth, a veggie broth, or if you're a vegetarian, or a chicken broth or beef broth.
Excuse my
But this,
reach.
I just use plain water because I have so much going on. I didn't want to overbear the whole dish. You know, I'm trying to balance out flavors. I didn't want it to be salty or too much sodium. So, yep, just plain water.
Okay. I'll dip around this way. That way I won't keep walking in front of the camera.
No, but you know what? If you take one of my cards and you email me that you were here with me, I will send you a recipe. Mine is the Asian chicken lollipop sauce, but I'll send you an option. Okay, I'll send it to you. Okay.
You're welcome.
She can send it to us and we can put it on our website.
Absolutely.
So when you come out with it and you do some work, we can get first dibs.
Oh, right.
First dibs. So how do you feel about the barley? You don't even think about rice, do you? No, don't miss the rice.
So nutrition-wise, what quality is that?
Lots of fiber, yes. Fiber, it's filling, yes. Lots of fiber.
Let's see.
It's a grain, so grains are always good. You can use barley hot or
Didn't you eat
cold. So you can have a barley solid. It doesn't have to be hot. You can take a nice, you can make yourself a nice vinaigrette and whatever vegetables you want. Oil and vinegar and whatever herb or whatever seasoning you want to put in there. So you can make a basil vinaigrette. You know, the main herb would be basil. Yeah, so it's 2 to 1. It would be 1 cup of oil, 2 cups of vinegar. 1 cup of vinegar, 2 cups of oil. No, if you were making a vinaigrette, a quick vinaigrette, it's 2 to 1. So
Yeah,
she
I
was
was gonna
asking me
say
what
at
was the
least
base
one
of a
more.
vinaigrette, oil and vinegar. So you can go, not just plain vinegar, you can do champagne vinegar, balsamic vinegar, white balsamic vinegar,
I'll
apple
taste it.
cider vinegar, if you want to make an apple cider vinaigrette. I use strawberries. I make a strawberry vinaigrette, a strawberry salad dressing. So it's a lot you can do.
Oh, no, wait, Denise.
Some more
We're doing
barley in
ladies
here.
first.
Can I throw this in here? Sorry. Whoa.
Okay, so 2 more.
We need that one.
Okay. Did you want one?
I'll get some in a minute.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was.
Are you vegetarian? I can make you some right now. You sure? I got another pan. I can make you some on the side. I feel bad. Oh. Who else is a vegetarian? And okay. Nope. You don't have to do that. I got you all taken care of.
I see a lot of smiling, chewing people in the room. This is really yummy, Chef Nye. And
Thank you.
one of the other things that I hope everybody appreciated as we were watching this dish come together is that you really did not do a whole lot of sprinkling. You didn't over anything.
Thank you.
Right? It's a nice blend of all the vegetables without being extra salty, like we normally sometimes think of Asian, because
Yes.
we tend to get it from fast food places that
And you
over season
don't-
it.
Yeah, and when they put enough sodium on it, and then when we get it home, we add soy sauce to it. So your blood pressure is probably through the roof by the time you get finished eating Chinese food or Asian food, you know. But then, yes. No, you're fine.
I noticed that you did some vegetables in that, and then you did it in a saute. Did you always do it like that, or you just doing it for time framing?
Time framing. I'm just using all my utensils that way. I wanted to make sure everybody was eating around the same time. Yes.
Or you could actually do it all in a saute pan.
Yes, you can. Yes. But I had more people, so I was like, I may get 2 pans
Yes.
I
going.
know when I was trying to go home and try to figure out what.
Yeah. Yes.
But would you still recommend cooking the barley first?
Yes.
So that-
you absolutely have to cook the barley first, and you absolutely have to let the barley cool off before you go to make your stir fry. That's even if you were making a stir fry with rice. The grain should be cool before you go and make your stir fry, or if not, you're overcooking it.
Okay.
So you cook it according to the box. If you want it a little more al dente, so you take it off a minute or 2 or 3 minutes sooner. That way it gives you room to do this, to saute. Now, if you're just eating the barley and you're just adding some stuff to it, then fine, you can cook it according to the box. But for me, I take it, I stop it 3 minutes before whatever time frame they give you for cooking barley, so I can have room to do this. But barley is like a really good grain because you can make soup and it holds up in long-term cooking, because I use barley in my crock pots and stuff like that. So it's like one of those grains that hold together. It doesn't seem like it's overcooked, but when it's in the soup, it do get a little softer. Now you have more of a texture. You can get the texture of the barley. It kind of looked like the whole grain puff. Remember that cereal, Sugar Bear, Honey Smacks? Yeah, that's what it looked like.
It does.
Yeah, once they cook.
You know, that texture is very good, because I use it in my veggie burgers.
Okay. Okay.
We've got another question.
Yeah.
You didn't put any ginger in it.
I didn't. I put the ginger in my Asian chicken lollipop sauce.
So now she doesn't have to kill you, but you at least know one of
You
the
know
ingredients.
ginger in there. Thank you. You got a good eye. Yes.
Thank you for making this option, but for some reason you didn't use styrofoam. Was there a particular consciousness that made you go to plastic instead of styrofoam?
Well, no, I'm just a caterer that don't use styrofoam. And for one, styrofoam makes your food taste funny. Do you know that? So you're getting the chemicals from the styrofoam in your food. So yes, I don't like it. I don't use it, and I know that it holds a lot of chemicals. Good eye. Yeah, that's why they say take out. You take it home, don't reuse it, don't put it in the microwave.
That's right.
You're putting all those chemicals in your food when you reheat your food in the styrofoam. Yeah. Did you eat?
Yes, I did. It was delicious.
Thank you.
If you want to make that part of what you serve to me, I would not eat it all.
I'll bring you a personal bowl. I'll see you next week. Okay.
Yummy. I see a lot of empty bowls. I see a lot of smiling faces and a lot of murmuring. I'm assuming that that's all good stuff.
So right now I'm doing a vegetarian option. So I use the pan that I didn't use meat in. We just have the regular vegetables, even though I have cooked off vegetables that I didn't incorporate meat with, I can still use that. Even though I sauteed the kale by itself, I can still put that in here because it's just barley and vegetables, and I'm not drying out the meat or anything.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I got the card, and I know how to blow up an Instagram.
I love it. Social media, yes. So
You're welcome. Thank you.
as people are leaving, one of the things that we do want to remind you is for those of you who do use social media, if you've been taking pictures and what have you, please tag on WURD for your photos, for your comments, so that we can gather that. And so for the people who weren't here, they know how to follow along and they can see what happened tonight. We appreciate it.
Yes, and I'm at Chef Nai on Instagram, at Chef Nai, N-A-I. And my business page is at H.E.R.catering on Instagram. My business page is at H.E.R.catering on Instagram. I failed to tell you guys that I am a fitness instructor.
That's it.
I've been teaching fitness for almost 16 years.
Nice.
So the healthy lifestyle is a part of my lifestyle as well. And it makes it easier for me being a chef and balancing my healthy lifestyle. So, and I lost over almost 200 pounds. So, yes.
Wait, that's
And if you,
200, you said.
yes, almost 200 pounds. And if you go to my at Chef Nai page, you'll see a lot of my fitness programs. I teach for YouFit Health Clubs. You'll see me going through transitions. I'm human just like everybody else. I like my ice cream and french fries and fried fish. But I have it in moderation. So
Right.
just so you know.
So what was losing the 200 pounds your goal, or was that just kind of where you found your comfortable place?
I did it for me. I found myself really depressed, and I started running, and I had my last baby, and I gained a lot of weight with her. And I started running, and I started melting off the weight, and I just went until I felt comfortable. You know, it's not about the size or, you know, oh, I have to be a size 4. I just went until I felt comfortable. Like right now, I'm at a really comfortable weight.
Yeah.
And we won't talk about that, but I love where I'm at right now. I feel good. I'm doing it the healthy way. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for that bit of inspiration, because I think a lot of people, especially if you set a very high fitness goal for yourself, can get
Yes.
discouraged if you don't see it
Absolutely.
falling off fast enough or whatever. So tonight we're learning how to cook healthy, how to eat healthy, and understand that for Chef Nai, this goes along with the overall healthy
Yes.
lifestyle.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Where's the classes? Where do you teach fitness?
You Fit Fitness at Front and Alany.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Right around the way, clearly. Your daughter had a question.
Yes.
So is there any healthy meal, especially that you make that your family doesn't, that the kids don't like? Do you have family curry recipes?
So the question was about knowing
About
that,
her.
that even though her children are in the household where all this healthiness is going on, there's still
Yes.
some things they're not necessarily fond of.
I was
So,
brought
family
up.
friendly.
I was brought up. What's on the table, you eat. But yes, there are family-friendly, healthy meals. I'm gonna tell you this: my family ate very poorly. Not my kids, but the family that comes over every Sunday. Every Sunday, they ate very poorly. No one liked vegetables. Nobody liked Brussels sprouts or the asparagus or kale, the sauteed greens. My mom used to call it food because I don't boil greens with smoked turkey and the neck bones and all that. I saute them with olive oil, onions, and garlic. That's how you're going to get greens from me all the time, and they absolutely love them. She'll complain about it while she's eating them, and it's only because she, yeah, and I think only because she's getting older, and she's like, I got my teeth. So I was like, don't worry about it. She's like, they're too crunchy, so she's used to like soft food. But I absolutely saute everything. Our Thanksgivings, our Christmas is grilled food. We rarely eat fried food. They beg me to make fried chicken, stuff like that. So this is just something that I do all the time. I feel like if you're the model in your home, you know, especially if you're the head of the household, they're going to sponge everything that you do. And before, yeah, we be eating pizza and eating out all the time. And we do have our days when we eat out. And I enjoy it, trust me. It's like, oh my God. But then I get right back on track with this. But I feel like, you know, if you start with your household, then they'll follow. And then everybody will start seeing a difference in you, and then the rest of the family will start following. Yeah, they'll complain at first, but then they'll start following. And then everybody, you know, my sister, she works out with me now all the time. Sometimes I think she works out too much. I be on her Facebook like, eat a sandwich, you know. But you are, you know, if you're that model in the family and everybody look up to you or look to you for answers or whatever it may be, if you start this at home, then they will follow, you know. But you have to start it, and you have to be stern with it, and you have to stick to it and be comfortable with it. You know, it's not hard to do. It's just vegetables and some grains, and you know, it's just changing up the way we used to do or the things that we grew up knowing. There's nothing wrong with change. We all measure change differently. So if you're looking for the best, then you show them that I'm doing my best and I need you to follow me, and let's do our best together. So they'll follow. Yes.
So what's different things that you try in your household, or do y'all stick to traditional foods and vegetables?
Never. We try a lot of different stuff.
Not kohlrabi, yes.
You want to put me on the
You all are funny.
I need you to serve.
Who's that? Top soy and chocolate.
Bok choy.
Bok choy.
Love bok choy.
Yes. You like it? Have you tried it?
But you know, there's something, I don't like go to the store and say, I'm gonna buy some bok choy today, but when I go and eat it somewhere, I enjoy it.
So why don't you buy it? Do you feel like you can't cook it, or is, you know, bok choy, it takes 2 minutes to make. 2 minutes. Olive oil, you can add some garlic. You don't even, it's just olive oil, the bok choy, a little bit of kosher salt and pepper. That's it. It takes 2 minutes. As soon as it wilts, bok choy is done. It's a form of cabbage, so it takes 2 minutes. You want that crunch factor. That's another thing. I do bok choy, onions, peppers, and I put that on top of barley or brown rice. I go vegetarian like 2 to 3 days out of the week, and then I do my lean meat. I have my beef day out of the month, and I eat a lot of chicken, fish, turkey. I do a lot of that. I take apple cider, and I play around in the kitchen a lot. Every time you know how you go to beer tastings and wine tastings and stuff, when I taste those things, I'm tasting it to figure out what I'm gonna pair it with, because I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna cook with it. Apple cider, regular apple cider, doesn't have to be hard apple cider. That's like my favorite right now. I've been braising everything in apple cider. Chocolate beer I use for beef, to make my short ribs and regular ribs, or even chocolate beer. Yeah, you can get that out of a beer store. Chocolate and beef are like peanut butter and jelly. Yes, chocolate and beef, or chocolate, beef, and coffee. Like, it flavors the heck out of beef. Like, it is no other. So yeah, like when I taste things, it's in my mind, it's like, what can I make with this? That's automatic. I actually braise the beef, and then I just pour the chocolate beer over it and let it cook in it. And and it's usually when I'm braising. And if you don't know, the braising technique is on top of the stove. You don't overpower it with liquid. It's like halfway up with the meat. It's like halfway, not covering it, but halfway up. And you just let it cook down. And every time it cooks down, and if it's not tender, you turn it over and you pour some more liquid into it. That's braising, and you cover it tightly. Yes, it cooks away. It cooks down. It cooks into the beef. In the beer stores. Go to a beer distributor. Yeah, go to the beer distributor. It's there. Chocolate beer. Yes.
I have two-fold question, comment and question. I notice a lot of cultures use cinnamon and bake also in the cooking and the braising animals.
Especially Haitians.
And the Mexican community. But my question
Haitians and cinnamon.
A lot of weight, but I don't see any skin looseness. Is there something about your diet that helped your skin tighten? Because a lot of people have that issue, that lose weight.
Well, I balanced out cardio and weightlifting.
Okay.
So some people automatically, when they want to lose weight, they just, I gotta run, I gotta jog, and you're doing a lot of cardio, and you are going to burn fat.
Sure, they might
but
have a
in
water fountain. I feel
between
like I
that,
had
you have
some
to add
water fountain,
weightlifting
but I'm not sure.
and
This is my
build
first
the
time
muscle
here.
up. Let the fat melt, build the muscle up. So I balanced off cardio and weightlifting.
What kind of years were involved with that kind of weight loss?
It took me it took me almost a year and a half. Commitment to me. Thank you. And then that's when I started teaching. I actually was playing around in the classroom. The instructor didn't show up, and it was a man, and he used to always do this little work, and I was in the front like, okay, y'all. And but I taught the class, and they was like, wow, we had a good workout, and they was like, Naimah, do you want to teach? And I was like, nah, I just play around. But they was like, we'll pay you. I was like, oh, okay. Teach, so, and I started out at Lucille Roberts. I taught for that company for 13 years. And then I moved on to LA Fitness for 2 years, and now I'm at UFit. I was the coordinator and fitness instructor, but I just gave up the coordinator position about 2-3 weeks ago because H.E.R is taking off a lot. So I had to spread some more love. It was like I had to close the door for another door to open. But I still instruct. I teach 7 classes a week.
And by the way, I think it's time for an Aldi's endorsement of your product.
Yes, they have good cheeses too.
Well, we've got to get ready to wrap up.
Yes.
So I just wanted, and everybody make sure Chef Nye has brought business cards. So make sure that you get a business card before you leave. But I wanted to, get, you mentioned when we were talking about the bok choy,
Yes.
you were talking about how to prepare it, but also shopping. So for everybody in the room, just some thoughts about how we should approach shopping in order to make sure that we're getting fresh ingredients and what have you, just so that folds into the way that we think about meal preparation.
Okay. Well, one, go to the produce junction. Go to the produce junction and go and look at vegetables that you normally don't buy, but you'll go to the restaurant to pay for it. You don't have to buy a lot, buy a bunch, go home and try it. Either roast it, saute it, but try it. Try it. You have to try different stuff. You have to step outside of your box. Just like when we do sweet potatoes and we put the brown sugar and all that stuff, take the sweet potato, cut it up, roast it with some olive oil and salt and pepper. Like, taste the real sweetness of a sweet potato without putting all the stuff that we're used to. I absolutely don't even like candy yams no more. I like roast sweet potatoes. So try things, even if it's the things that you normally buy, try them, try cooking them, try cooking a different cooking technique. So if you're used to boiling it, saute it. But go to the produce junction and produce junction, knife in Washington. Look at the vegetables, look for bruises. When you're picking out green leaf vegetables, look for the brownness. If you see it, your kale should be nice and crispy. It should be. If it's like limp, don't buy it. You know, when you buy even the child flowers, they should be nice and crispy also. But if they're just like this when you buy them, then that means it's worn. You know, it's just old or it's about to go old and they're trying to sell it to you at the regular price. But try different stuff. Try different stuff.
Okay.
You know the difference between a sweet potato and a yam just by looking at it?
Me, yes.
The difference between a sweet potato and a yam by sight.
Yes, the sweet potato has more of an orangey skin. The yam goes towards more of a brown and it somewhat look like it has a purplish underneath that brown skin. Do that make sense to you? So it looks more like almost like a white potato, but not quite. It's like you're questioning the white potato. But the sweet potato looks a little, and when you cut open the yam and the sweet potato is a little lighter than the yam. The yam is darker and orange, and the sweet potato is lighter. It can almost be yellow sometimes. Yeah, because my cousin had got some sweet potatoes, and she cut it open, and she was like, "This is bad," you know, and she's like calling me and sending me pictures, and I'm at work like, I was like, "It's a sweet potato. It's fine," but it's a different color when you cut it open. It is. It is. Yes, the yam has more of that. When you peel it, the skin has like a stringy, and the sweet potato is more of a, like I said, more accustomed to the regular potato. It's more starchier.
We have time for one more question. So.
When you do kale, when you make crispy kale in the oven, how long do you keep it in the oven to crispy like kale?
The kale chips?
Yeah.
Until they crisp. So it could be about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I would check them as you baking them.
Yeah,
so olive oil, and I like sriracha kale chips.
Okay.
That's what I do. Once they come out, I do the sriracha. I toss it up real fast and but just check them in between 2 minutes and 5 minutes.
What temperature?
400.
Okay.
400.
That gets it dried out.
Yes.
Well, Chef Nye, I think I can speak for our entire crew when we say this has been wonderful and flavorful, and we thank you for that. Please, for the benefit of our camera, directly into the camera, let folks know how to stay in touch with you on social media.
Hi everyone, you can stay in touch with me through social media with Instagram at Chef Nye, that's Chef N-A-I, or at H.E.R.Catering on Instagram, and on Facebook I'm under Rutling Naimah. So if you have one of my cards, it's my last name first name last. But that's pretty much it.
And your spices and sauces?
My spices
Do we have
and
an
sauces
ETA?
will be, yes, my spices and sauces will be out in the next month or two, 2 months top, along with a cookbook. And as soon as that come out, I will be on WURD.
We are glad to hear that. So right in time for the holidays.
Yes.
That's a great thing. Well, again, can we give her a great round of applause?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.